Many Europeans are jealous of American tech companies, of American universities.
This regulatory framework, this game that's being played, putting out huge fines, this is something that has been really central to Trump's message on this is, hey, they're fining our companies.
Both us, Europeans, and you, Americans, we're focusing too much on our differences, but we're interdependent. And
Ossowski survey shows 6 in 10 Europeans want the European Union Commission's president to step down after she agreed to a 15% tariff cap with the U.S. But what does this mean for big tech, our tech industry, American innovation, and the global fight with China? Two guests tonight joining me tonight. First, Egle Markeviciute. She is the former Deputy Minister of Economy and Innovation in Lithuania, and Yael, Ossowski, Deputy Director of the Consumer Choice Center, both up late with me tonight here on the Final Five. Good to see you. Good to see you again. Welcome both in tonight.
Thank you, Jim.
I want to ask you first, why is Europe coming down to this level on U.S. technology companies?
Well, the U.S. technology companies and American companies exports to the European Union in terms of digital services is very high. And the European Union, since 2018, has been looking for ways how to manage these import-export flows, as well as create a framework, a regulatory framework that is aligned with European values. And this is clashing with the American approach, and this is creating a lot of problems for U.S. tech companies.
As we know, with companies like Facebook, these American companies who are doing business around the world right now, they certainly have to navigate so many different regulatory frameworks here. But Europe has taken this certainly a hardline approach.
Yeah, there's been just all of the different mechanisms of the European bureaucracy has basically weaponized against many of these companies who have local employees, who run data servers, and we're having to navigate not just the laws of each country, but of the European Union itself. And there are laws like GDPR, data protection. There's laws about which companies you can own or can't own. They basically are so expansive in digital policy in a way that we just don't even have these laws in the United States, and makes it super complicated for any of these companies, big or small, to try to thrive in Europe.
Well, and something I've talked about with other guests on the show here before is you literally have a title that is about innovation. And when you look at American lawmakers, there certainly seems to be, among many, I wouldn't say a reluctance to, but they just don't. They don't seem to be on the same page with how big tech works, how technology works, period. I mean, I think there's an infamous recording of former Alaska Senator Ted Stevens comparing the internet to a series of tubes, and that's not necessarily how it goes. In your role, in your former role in Lithuania, what were some of the things you were tasked with doing?
Oh, we were tasked with many things, and Europe is facing a lot of issues when it comes to innovation creation and innovation promotion, business and science cooperation. Many Europeans are jealous of American tech companies, of American universities, and cooperation between the industry and science. So that was one of my primary goals, but I would like to also add that both us, Europeans, and you, Americans, were focusing too much on our differences, but we also have a lot of similarities. We're interdependent, and I think the US-EU trade deal, although imperfect, sets a good starting point for further cooperation and talks.
So there's been a lot said about how this impacts the fight with China for lack of a better word, supremacy when it comes to technology here. How is that playing out?
Yeah, basically you have so many bazookas, if we could use that term.
Sure, why not?
Absolutely. That are focused on some of these companies, and it's just this regulatory framework, this game that's being played, chasing some of this, putting out huge fines. This is something that has been really central to Trump's message on this is, hey, they're fining our companies. And meanwhile, you have China, which basically just has open gambit. They can go anywhere they want. They're selling and producing way more batteries, way more cars, everything that has to do with telecommunication. So that is all expanding. Meanwhile, Europe and the U.S. are kind of locking horns. Yeah. And I think that's to the disadvantage of consumers on both sides of the Atlantic.
So how do we make this right? How do you get the U.S. and Europe to find some sort of common ground?
So actually, the US-EU trade deal sets out 3 priorities that are very important for both you and us, and intellectual property protection. So
that's been huge.
Exactly. So first, how do we protect our innovators, both European and American ones? There's an agreement to work on common IP protection standards and enforcement of IP protection worldwide. This is a big problem. Not all countries have the same views as we do. Second, economic security of supply chains, export controls, and all the other things. How do we make sure that our innovative products don't end up in very bad hands? And many other things. So there are very positive agreements there. Of course, we usually hear only negative things, and it's probably natural and normal, but there's a lot of many things that are very positive.
I'll give you the last word here.
The one part that's so important about this trade deal is the number one top item was energy. The U.S., we have plenty of energy. We have LNG. Europe needs it. We've had this war, the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It's completely changed energy pricing in many of these European countries. It's affecting competitiveness. It's affecting all the economy, the industries. Putting energy as a part of that means we're going to have better regulations on technology, better collaboration, and it means we can actually compete with China and hopefully defeat it not just with liberal democratic values, but better products too.
Well, clearly these are big issues. And I don't think we always talk about the big tech aspects when we talk about this big trade war going on right now, but I'm glad you both came in to discuss it. And I know you're both heading out of town. We're glad to have you in here. Egle, Yael, great to see you tonight. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
And the Final Five is back right after this.